Hello, everyone. It is Kathryn and I'm, Elevated Consciousness Coach, 5D Visionary, Conscious Creatrix. I bid you good day, hello, and welcome. Thanks for watching. I wanted to share this news because it's very exciting and provocative, enlivening to learn this kind of stuff and to check this out and to know what's going on in the physical when we are going through this massive surge, this kind of push through the birth canal of ascension. And we often have questions about, well, what's happening in my body? Like, what's really going on in my body as I experience this ascension timeline that we're all in. It's a planetary ascension timeline that we're all in. We are receiving a cosmic upgrade of really epic proportions. So of course, this is affecting the planet. It's affecting us biologically, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You know, we are feeling bounced around by all these energies in a lot of ways, but we often wonder and don't have the answers to what is happening inside the body. So I want to talk about that a little bit, and I want to talk about how these things connect. Trauma, the fascia of the body, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry, I'm going to explain it. Ascension itself, the process of ascension, of elevating into a higher level of consciousness, and timeline healing. What do all these things have to do with each other? So, fascia, first of all. The fascia is think of it as interwoven sheets of connective tissue. It's just beneath the skin. And it creates tensional integrity, meaning it holds the structures of the body together. It connects the structures, tissues, organs, blood vessels of the body together in this kind of interwoven web or matrix. It's a physical matrix inside the body that keeps tensional integrity of the body. It allows, because of this separation and connection that it uniquely does, with all the organs, tissues, blood vessels, bones, nerves of the body, etc. It allows the fluidity of everything to kind of be in there and have movement and separation that it needs to in order to do its business. The fascia is an incredible network that stabilizes the body as well, not only connects and separates the different organs and tissues and blood vessels of the body, etc. It is the interconnective network that is the first line of defense against invasive, let's just say, false ascension energies. Yes, there are false ascension energies too. And those energies that are not in alignment with your highest and best good for your ascent into higher consciousness, okay? So it's that first line of defense in the physical body, this matrix, this interwoven fascia network, this web of tensional integrity that's holding the insides of your body together. It's the first line of defense against false ascension energies, and it is the first point of contact inside the body for physical transformation towards the pre-crystalline cellular embodiment that we are becoming. That is the end game of ascension, is we are in this pre-crystalline state. And what does that mean? That means becoming a light being, a divine human avatar. That's our goal of ascension. So now we are in, yes, carbon-based life forms, but we're in this pre-crystalline stage right now where our bodies, our cells, are moving from carbon-based matter to silica pre-crystalline matter. This is part of, moving into that next station of elevated awareness, is the body becoming transformed towards this divine human avatar, this light being embodiment, okay? The fascia, this web or network matrix inside the physical body that is creating tensional integrity inside the body. This is what's actually activating the upgrades from Ascension light codes. It is the crystalline network or matrix inside the body. So if you think of, this perfect conversion that's taking place between two things that are communicating pretty clearly with each other, this is the divine, true organic ascension matrix, communicating with the matrix that is inside your physical being. There are a lot of commonalities there and a lot of communication taking place, okay? Because the fascia is already holding these light codes of ascension. It is already pre-crystalline, okay? It is already moving towards that silicon matrix. So the fascia is already holding some of these codes for pre-crystalline embodiment, moving from carbon-based to a silica matrix body, essentially. So this cell-to-cell communication that's happening, it's already taking place thanks to, the massive cosmic code injections that are coming into the planet, into our 3D matrix and time-space matrix of being here on planet Earth. So this communication, the cell-to-cell communication between what's happening in the fascia network to the rest of the body, meaning all the cells, all the organs, tissues, blood vessels of the body, this is informing and teaching the body how to become crystalline, okay? This is already happening. So it's important to understand here, as I talk about what's next, that the fascia is all about tensional integrity. There is a certain amount of tension that needs to be in the body to hold the integrity of the body in place so that it can function properly, optimally. But the fascia is all about flexibility and movement and fluidity. And this is really important in order to optimize our ascension trajectory, okay? So if you're interested in what I'm talking about, you may want to listen to this part again. But this is the most important part of what I want to share with you today. So to the degree that we are holding programs of trauma that we have not yet released, we are also holding death seals on our DNA, frequency fences that allow us to only ascend so high before we get pushed back down. These are frequency fences. These are also known as death seals. To the degree we're holding that kind of trauma in the body, distortions in the 3D body matrix because of holographic inserts, because of false timelines and false ascension matrix energies, to the degree that we're holding some sort of mental rigidity, okay? Meaning you're not having that kind of flexibility, that malleability, that movement and fluidity that the fascia has and needs in order to be able to integrate these light codes optimally for the body. To the degree you're holding these things that I've mentioned, and including mental rigidity, meaning a stubbornness or an inflexibility towards moving forward on your ascension path with a degree of trust, a degree of surrender, okay? You're holding some mental rigidity around that. This inhibits the fascia from doing what it's being programmed to do to help you ascend. To the degree that you're having even dehydration, you're not getting enough water in the body. The fascia matrix inside the body relies on water to move and accelerate this ascension process. We have to be feeding our bodies lots of high quality water. We need to be hydrated during this ascension process. Many of you know, just on a real physical level, maybe you're thirsty all the time. Drink more water. To the degree that you're limiting your body movement, you're not stretching, you're not being flexible physically, will affect the fascia's ability to do what it's being programmed to do so that it can help you ascend. Hi Donna, hi Lynette. Lynette says, your timing is impeccable, Kathryn. Oh, goody. I love that. Hi Sarah. So to the degree that we have rigidity, because of any of these things that I've just mentioned, we will have rigidity and inflexibility in the fascia, okay? Limiting the ability for cell-to-cell communication on how to transform the body into the divine being silica light matrix that we are destined to become as the natural part of ascension, okay? I love, love, love my water, can't get enough. Yes, I know. I've been trying to really get myself to drink a lot of water lately. Sometimes I just forget. I get caught up when I'm creating content like this, and then I forget to drink water. That's no excuse. Fluidity in the fascia crystalline matrix, okay? It is already becoming crystalline. Your fascia is your first line, that first point of contact inside the body that is taking these ascension light codes from the universe, from the cosmos, from the multiverses, and transmuting them inside the body, telling the rest of the body what to do with this stuff. You guys following me? Thirsty all the time lately? Yes, because we have massive, massive surges going on. Electromagnetic surges, solar flares, etc. So fluidity in the fascia, crystalline matrix. This looks like light codes coming in, okay? They're hitting the planetary body, which in turn is coming into our body. And we're taking this in without resistance to the degree that you're not holding all those things that I mentioned previously. And the vibrations of multidimensional light and sound frequency are saturating the cells with light. And what is light? Information. And this is activating a full body communication network that is all being distributed through the fascia. Okay? Who's fascinated by this? Because when this was coming in and I was disseminating this information, as I'm compiling information to add to my next round of Timelines Expanded, I'm bringing this new information in. It's fascinating. Fascinating. I didn't sleep. You can probably look at my face and I'm all red and tired. I didn't sleep because I was bringing this stuff in. So think of the fascia in its capacity to do this work as a semiconductor. Okay, it's a semiconductor. What it's doing is triggering ionic reactions in the biological processes of the body, the biological responses in the biology of the body, okay? The physiology of the body, I mean to say. And this accelerates the human ascension process, okay? So let me explain that a little bit more. I want to break this down so this really makes sense to you. You guys get this and you're like, wow, this is fascinating, cool. Because I think it's really cool. So there is an electrical charge that happens, okay? Your body is electric. You get that, right? Your body has a frequency. That means you have electric charges. You are electromagnetic, essentially, okay? Your thoughts are electric. They can be measured and they have a voltage, okay? They have, our bodies have Hertz values, okay? So there is an electrical charge that happens in the body when receiving ascension codes. So we react electromagnetically to these ascension codes, these light codes of information coming in and hitting the planet. So these crystalline codes that are already part of the fascia in most people who are, accepting this ascension process, and everyone to some degree is going through the process of ascension. Whether they are willingly accepting it or conscious of it, aware of it or not, is an entirely different issue. But everyone on the planet is being affected to one degree or another by the ascension process, okay? Understand that. But the crystalline codes that are already part of the fascia in most people, okay, are receiving mechanical pressure, okay? So this creates an amount of pressure. Many of us feel it, okay? We call it ascension symptoms. That's how it shakes out. This mechanical pressure that's being exerted on us through receiving these light codes, we feel it in the body because we are very dense. And so we're going to feel headaches. We're going to feel migraines. We're going to be affected in a couple other different ways that I'm going to mention in a second. But this is exerting mechanical pressure on us physically in our dense 3D bodies, in our physical carbon-based matrix as it is, okay? And this is what can create for a lot of people, people who are suffering from things like, yes, like I mentioned, migraines, but myofascial distortions, fibromyalgia, things that are affecting the tensional integrity of the body, okay? It has to do with the fascia. It has to do with an inability of the fascia to incorporate these light codes and do this cell-to-cell communication that it's being programmed to do properly, because we have all those blockages, maybe a handful of them, a potpourri of these blockages like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. So these intensifying light codes that are hitting the planet, people are going to feel this if they have these blockages that they haven't cleared. They're not getting enough water. They're not doing enough movement. They have trauma that they are unwilling to or unaware of that needs to be cleared. things like that. So this kind of mechanical pressure that's being exerted on the body, it has a piezoelectric effect. I know that's a big word. So the piezoelectric effect is, this is happening in the facial matrix, the fascia of the body, where you have a mechanical pressure that's being exerted. Usually these experiments are done where you have a mechanical pressure that's being exerted on a crystal. And the crystal is in between two metal plates. And when a certain amount of mechanical pressure is exerted on a crystal, hey, by the way, you're pre-crystalline, so this is happening to us. This is happening to us now, okay? Like I said many times before, we're living in sci-fi, and I'll prove it to you. So in the piezoelectric effect, you have mechanical pressure that is exerted on a crystal. Here we are becoming pre-crystalline. The codes are already in our fascia. If you were to have this in an experiment in a lab, you would have a crystal and you have two plates on either side. What happens is you create an electrical charge, an amplitude, and an intensifying of the charge, and it can create energy between these two metal plates and create a voltage, create an energetic output, okay? This is what the process of ascension is really doing. If you want to break it down into the brass tacks and the mechanics of it, what it means is we are exerting a higher frequency, a bigger electrical charge is being given off by the body. Maybe you've noticed, some of you who are really feeling the brunt of, or maybe the gift of some of these higher ascension energies now, and you feel like you are integrating them properly. When you walk into a room, you may notice people are like, whoa, hey, who's that? Or you just feel it. If you walk into you feel it, you feel the contrast even more, let's just say. That here you are, exerting this higher electrical charge. You walk into a room with a really low energy frequency. You feel like the brightest bulb in the room because you are. Okay, so this is what's happening. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's so exciting. I geek out on this stuff big time, you can probably tell. So that's the piezoelectric effect. And this is what we're doing with our bodies as we go through ascension. So this creates a piezoelectric effect in the fascial matrix, in the tensional integrity network of this interwoven connective tissue in the body, which is right beneath the skin. It's creating an intensified life force that you are embodying, okay? If you don't have all the said blockages that I mentioned, if you're just tuning in now, go back and listen to the replay because I break this down for you. So you have this intensified life force energy, and it is being communicated on a cell-to-cell level from the fascia, and this energy is being disseminated to all the other levels, all the other organs, tissues, blood vessels, arteries, membranes of the body, telling it how to ascend, giving it the template, giving it the instruction booklet. Okay, just like the one you would get at IKEA. Your fascia has the instruction booklet, and it's giving all the information out to the rest of all of the structures of the body, telling it what to do. And hopefully it doesn't get assembled like a wobbly dresser like I always do when I get a piece of IKEA furniture. So this is very exciting. So what else can the fascia do? The fascia can circulate energy through blockages in the body. Okay, so, you know, anyone who's ever had or done acupuncture, acupressure, and you're working with clearing those circulation, the circulation network of the meridians, the nadis. When you are working with acupressure or acupuncture, that's what you're doing. And when you're doing acupuncture, acupressure, you're finding a pinpoint in the body that is holding an undue amount of energy that's causing distortion, blockage, trauma in the body, and it opens that pathway up and moves it along, moves the energy. This is what the fascia is doing too, is it's receiving these light codes. If you don't have all those blockages, if it's optimally functioning, okay? So the fascia can circulate energy through blockages in the body. It unifies the body systems by doing that. So you're creating a coherency of vibration in the body, allowing for perfect, seamless communication throughout all systems of the body. Isn't that ultimately our goal of healing? Yes, it is, okay? So this is optimal also for ascension. What it can also do is absorb and be a buffer for excessive amounts of, let's just say, electromagnetic surges. So when we have electromagnetic surges that are emanating from the Earth's core, and they're causing disruptions in things like our circadian rhythms, the heart rhythms, we have heart palpitations, flutters, migraines, things like that, disruptions in the body that we would categorize as ascension symptoms. What an optimally functioning fascia network will do is absorb or be a buffer for those surges of electromagnetic energies, solar flares, things like that, and spikes in electromagnetic energy, resonances of the earth, when it's functioning optimally, when the fascia is functioning optimally, okay? So this is really fascinating. Yes, give me a heart if you find this fascinating. Give me an emoji. Donna says yes. Sarah says, I am constantly shocked by everything, or things shock me despite the ton of water that I drink. You mean you feel physically shocked? Like your body is going into crisis. When you have these surges, you're going to want to take a look at your fascia. You're going to want to take a deeper look at what you are doing in terms of the blockages that I mentioned, or not doing, to help your body out. Okay? Are you drinking enough water? Do you have some blocks that you still haven't cleared? Are you engaging in regular movement? And it could be even light stretching. You don't have to be doing a 45-minute to an hour workout. In fact, there's a lot of information that says, that's not the best thing for our bodies. Short bursts of energy, 10 minutes at a time with some active recovery, can be the best way for the body to handle these ascension surges and doing it throughout the day. Instead of focusing all of your energy in a 1-hour workout and then you don't do shit for the rest of the day, not really doing your body that great of a service if you find that you're one who's really affected by these ascension symptoms. So what does this have to do with time and timeline healing? Okay, here's where I tie it all together. So a lot of the trauma that is held as resistance in the body, in the fascia, occurred in the past, or what I call, really, because there is no such thing as a past timeline, it's a concurrent timeline that's causing some sort of trauma or carryover into your now dominant timeline. If you want to know more about that, Timelines Expanded Masterclass. An ancestral timeline where trauma occurred and it's affecting you through the inheritance of that DNA. An accumulation of trauma from unhealed collective energy residing in false timelines. This is a way that we are holding trauma as resistance in the body, in the fascia. This creates an emotional, a spiritual imprint that has not been healed. Okay? Elevating to the next station of ascended consciousness hinges upon clearing these patterns, these events, these imprints in our dominant now timeline, meaning the one that you are spending your everyday reality creating a continuum with, okay? So it's creating major blips and distortions in the galactic time grid. And what the galactic time grid is, it holds the true organic ascension timelines for all humanity. Moving into your next ascended station of identity, of awareness, let's just say your spiritual avatar awareness, is a timeline. There's no separation from your next station of ascended awareness and your next timeline. It's jumping a timeline, essentially. Because you are becoming someone different. And anytime you become someone different, your identity shifts. You are accessing a different now timeline. Does that make sense? Yes, and you can hear it and sometimes burns my skin. Ooh, that's really, really fun for you. Let's see. I'm constantly I'm scrolling back to ones I've already moved. Have to move every day, even if it's 20 minutes on a treadmill. Absolutely. The more you move your body, it doesn't matter if you're just spending 5 minutes sitting on the floor and doing stretching, touching your toes, reaching up to the sky, greeting the sun with a smile every day and stretching your arms up to reach out as if you're grabbing it. It's a wonderful process. Being able to touch your toes, even moving from side to side, shifting your weight in any way, shape, or form is stretching. It's moving the body. It's also keeping that tensional integrity. making sure that you're drinking enough water. These are simple things that can be fixed right now, okay? So this is creating these blips and distortions in the galactic time grid, which holds the true organic timelines for the highest good of all humanity. So clearing, collapsing, and reclaiming our true organic timelines is what timeline healing is all about. And when you do this, you are accessing the higher dimensional harmonics of ascension, the higher vibrations of ascension, the next elevated station of your identity as a divine higher being, that avatar of you, okay? Elevating into your next station of higher consciousness, reclaiming the higher mind intelligence that is part of your inherent divine human template for being, okay? And you allow the fascia, when you do timeline healing and you're healing these false timelines and opting out of them, you're collapsing timelines of trauma with ancestral timeline healing in your current now timeline, your past timelines, you're doing all this. What you are doing is allowing the fascia to do what it's being programmed to do, essentially. Help you move to this next station of ascended awareness. It's naturally programmed to do this right now, to help you access your ascended light body. So this is something I'm adding to the next round of the live teaching of Timelines Expanded Masterclass, which starts April 16th. The early bird for this ends in 3 days. So if you want to save $200 off the full or the payment price, sign up before Friday at 9 p.m. I think at 9 p.m. Pacific time is when the early bird ends on Friday, March 6th. You're going to want to get in this program. There's truly nothing like it out there. There is no one teaching at this level these things with all of the comprehensive amounts of information that go along with learning about the nature of time itself, learning not just sitting and having me talk at you, but you are learning valuable tools and practices, hands-on practice with collapsing timelines, learning about ancestral timeline healing, collapsing and merging timelines, how that affects the DNA, jumping timelines. You are learning about how to opt out of false timelines, how to collapse those false timelines. We're going to be spending more time going down the rabbit hole with the fascia, and it will also include a fascia healing, release, and repair. I'm adding a 9th module also, which is going to be about transitioning into timelessness, awakening consciousness fluidity in the eternal now. One of the most amazing things about working with the fabric of time is being able to explore timelessness within time. And the ability to be able to access timelessness within time is also relegated to advanced spiritual healing that is part of your next station of identity in ascended awareness. This is part and parcel of that. In the soul's evolution to accessing the higher harmonics of ascension, this is part of the natural progression of advanced spiritual awakening. That is what this class is all about. This is high-level teaching. It is advanced spiritual awakening. This is waking you up to things that have been part of business as usual on this planet for a long time, that are no longer the norm, and they have been ways of siphoning off our power, our sovereignty for way too long. Timeline healing is an amazing exploration of moving into that level of sovereignty in ways that I wish I had the words to explain, because everyone has a different experience with this program, but they are all profound. And if you don't believe me, go to the link I'm going to put in here and read the member reviews for yourself, because they are really fascinating and they're all true. So we are starting the next round on April 16th. If you want to know more about this stuff, if you want to receive fascia healing, repair, release, and know how this affects you in timeline healing, and learn how to do this stuff for yourself. It's very empowering to learn these practices and tools, to do this as part of, just an amazing addition to your own spiritual toolbox. And there is an additional video that I've made for people in here that if you take clients and you want to add timeline healing into your already amazing treasure trove of what's in your spiritual toolbox, I teach you how to weave this in to your existing practice. It is complementary to any healing method or modality that you are using. It is a beautiful, seamless addition to that, and it adds a more profound release and upgrade to whatever you're already doing that's amazing with your clients. So, and that's at no extra cost to you. And every time, well, when you join, you are welcome. Every time I teach this course live, I always add new material whenever I teach a course. I don't like teaching the same tired old stuff. Not that this stuff is tired at all, but I get bored if I'm not adding new stuff, and I know you guys do. So believe me, there's always information coming in that I can add and augment the already amazing knowledge and wisdom that is in this program. I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there is really nothing out there like Timelines Expanded Masterclass. No one is teaching at this comprehensive level, this advanced high-level teaching about the nature of time, about collapsing time, bending time, merging time, opting out of time, collapsing time. It's just not out there. With this level of support, because you have a private Facebook group community that is highly supportive, an amazing group of people, and there are ways to take this further, because I do teach a level 2. I'm about to teach level 2 on March 12th. And the implications and the carryover effect that doing this work will have on not only your everyday life, but the rest of your life, the way you view reality, it'll completely change your perception of your current level of reality. It'll change the way you have your interpersonal relationship, meaning how you relate to yourself, but all your personal relationships, the way you relate to the environment, to everyone in your life. Because when you change your perception of time, you change the way you categorize and compartmentalize all the information. Everything you value and have order or meaning with in your life will change in a good way, in a very empowering way. And it also brings in a great level of peace when you learn how to do this work, because things that have taken, let's just say, years to shift in your reality can sometimes shift in weeks, hours, or days. So this is profound work. This is the only kind of work I want to do going forward, because I'm here to wake people up, and I'm here to work with people who want to wake up. And I want to give them the tools and the practical application to be able to do that. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been informational for you. I hope this has been really eye-opening for you and fascinating for you. If you want to know more, the link to read more about Timelines Expanded Masterclass is below. Sign up for the early bird before Friday, because the forever price of $9.99 goes in effect Friday at 9 p.m. Pacific time, March 6th. So love and peace to you all. Thanks for watching.